Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AR Legends, and yeah guys, today I am back with an next part of what if Naruto was neglected by his family and had the powers of Jiren. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the previous part of this series, and I hope that you guys will like this one as well. As far if you guys have not seen this series, please check it out within my channel and hopefully you guys will like it. So yeah guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to this channel and if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will be a lot helpful to me. So please guys subscribe, and for the next part the like goal is gonna be, let's see about it, 350 likes and 200 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So please guys do that, and I have also put the link of my Instagram within the description below. So please follow me on Instagram. So without any further ado, let's start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Minato had decided to give Naruto, after becoming a Chunin, a new mission in which he and Itachi had to go to a bandit camp in which he had to eliminate that, and seeing that a princess has been kidnapped in that camp and they have to protect her and save her. So Naruto along with Itachi were sent on this mission, seeing that it was a B rank mission and possibly a rank mission. So they finally arrived to the band, seeing that Itachi decided to distract, you can say, the whole bandits towards him, and if any shinobis were in league as well. And Naruto will, you can say, simply sneak in, seeing that he's a lot faster than many people will give him credit for, as well as Itachi was hoping to see that technique which Naruto had developed himself, about some speed technique or something like that, not believing that it was actual speed or something like that. So Naruto decided to rescue, you can say, the princess from the same camp in which, you can say, Raiga, one of the seven swordmen of the mist, was present, but Naruto easily saved the princess, and after that the battle occurred, in which Naruto wanted to test the power of the sword, what this, you can say, so-called legendary sword was able to, you can say, was capable of. To Naruto's surprise and, you can say, disappointment, it was not actually that much. Raiga put a lot of chakra into it, turning into lightning chakra, and attacked Naruto over and over again, while on the other hand Naruto blocked with a single finger. As after, you can say, Raiga was about to make some distance and try to come with some, you can say, new strategy, thinking that how the kid is using some type of genjutsu or some technique to strengthen his body, but suddenly he heard cracks all over his sword as they were simply shattered into pieces, into tiny pieces, and after that Naruto simply ended the battle. When they were returning back to the hidden leaf, they were attacked by, you can say, Kakuzu as well as Kisame, seeing that the Akatsuki was pretty new and therefore did not have all of its members at the moment, but still they were, you can say, they attacked Naruto as well as Itachi because they wanted Ranmaru, who had a, you can say, a unknown dojutsu capable of even, you can say, countering the abilities of Byakugan and Sharingan, as Obito felt threatened by that and wanted to use that ability for himself. So he decided to, you can say, extend his offer to Itachi, as well as, if he disagree, take them out, as well as the son of his sensei. He just simply wanted his sensei to suffer for his so-called crimes, and therefore decided to, you can say, end the life of Naruto before he became a threat to his plan. But it was to his utter horror and surprise as Naruto broke both, you can say, Kisame as well as Kakuzu with little to no trouble, even being able to sense him, and especially that last attack was able to decimate a large section of the forest, as Obito was more than sure that if he were to be remain there, then Kisame along with Kakuzu would have been definitely dead. Kakuzu had his four heart destroyed and the fifth one was about to be destroyed as well. So Obito decided to take his leave after that. So yeah guys, that was the last part where we left off. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So let's begin this video from here on, as now we are gonna have a bit of timescape, as timescape to Naruto age of 13, as in this 5 years what is gonna happen between, I will tell you. As Naruto was at the moment in the Ambu. In the meantime, in these 5 years, Naruto's name spread like wildfire across the elemental nations as the demonic flash, as most of the people who engaged him in battle only saw flashes, as mainly, you can say, the forces who attack him mainly attack in numbers, thinking that how they can actually overpower him. When Naruto reached at the age of 9, Kumo along with, you can say, Aiwa decided to take Naruto out as quick as possible, thinking that he was a threat. After Raikage, you can say, agreed to that, thinking that he should take him out. And possibly weaken Konoha even further, but to his utter horror and surprise, all the Ambu teams sent there were simply slaughtered and none of the members returned. SA was pissed at that, but Minato threatened him that if he were to try something like that again, he will pay for it. As A, for a moment, simply, you can say, took a step back, knowing that at the moment, Leaf was too strong, while on the other hand, Naruto's names spread like wildfire. All the five other elemental nations, all the other nations, even Orochimaru heard that name. While on the other hand, now we have a bit of time skip as Naruto along with his Ambu squad were just returning from the mission. To be honest, most of the Ambu squad were giving Naruto a look, saying that in any and all mission, they were simply there just to watch the battle because it ended so quickly and so brutally. As Naruto's power in the meantime has increased drastically, his training has skyrocketed. He can now use, you can say, over 50,000 times gravity to train himself, or even can increase it even further and can channel more of that other energy, or rather known as ki, within his body. As in the meantime, Menma and Naruto were simply being trained by their family, as Jiraiya was trying his best to teach Menma and Naruto as much jutsus as possible, thinking that they were still the child of destiny. But Minato already started to doubt the words of Jiraiya. And because even if he were to, you can say, try to deny it or ignore it, the accomplishments of his firstborn were wild, you can say, widely known across the nation as well as the village. Even the fire daimyo wanted him as his, you can say, personal bodyguard. But Minato told him that it was Naruto's choice, as Naruto did not want it to get stuck with anyone, as he wanted to increase his power. In the meantime, Naruto was bored, a lot bored, so he decided to join the Ambu. But at the moment, they were standing in front of the whole council, as Naruto, along with his, you can say, team of council, as Itachi was also in it, but mostly he worked alone, seeing that how in the team in which Naruto is, you can say, said to be successful no matter what. So they were standing in front of the council as Minato gave a small smile to his son, as Naruto in this time has reached high strength status just at the age of 13, and many say that he can even match Minato while using his, you can say, full speed. As Minato, to be honest, was really proud of his son, though a bit, you can say, disheartened since he was not the one to train him, but still really proud as he looked towards the team as he said, "Well, team, you see that today we have summoned you here for a special mission." As all of them looked towards Minato, as Minato decided to speak up, we as a council had decided to accept the offer of the rebellion forces within the mist country, mist village, as there were several surprises on, you can say, the faces of the Ambu, but they hid it behind their masks, as Naruto was simply looking towards Minato with a bored expression on his face. Minato also knew about Naruto's attitude of him being extremely bored, as he sometimes entertained the idea to, you can say, spar against his son, but something always stopped him, one thing or another. And to be honest, at this point, he even suspected that Naruto could even give him a run for his money. After all, he has seen the speed technique or whatever that technique. Since Minato still think that it is some kind of technique developed by Naruto himself to move at extreme speed, was it was really fast, and whenever they will fight, it will only be battle of speed and power, in which Minato doubted that he will win against the power section, though his speed could still be greater than Naruto, as he thought it, hopefully at least. While on the other hand, he looked towards Naruto. So we have decided to help the rebellion forces, and therefore we have decided to send your squad in it. In this squad, Itachi will also be added in your team. As I simply nodded at that, as Minato looked towards Naruto. Well, Naruto, as can you step forward, Dragon Son? As Naruto's mask was that of a dragon. As Naruto stepped forward, as he said, "You will be the leader for this mission." As Naruto simply nodded at that, and your main mission is to, you can say, make sure the rebellion forces win and make Rumi become the Mizukage and get the scroll of the permanent alliance between our villages. Do you understand? As Naruto simply nodded at that, he already figured out how these things actually work years ago. So it was just that when they beat the forces of the Mizukage and let Rumi become the next Mizukage, easy about it. As he simply shrugged at that as he said, "It shall be done, Lord Hokage." As Minato simply nodded at that, hopefully it will provide some entertainment for Naruto. So, at least this team has two S-rank missions, S-rank shinobi, Naruto as well as Itachi, while on the other team members were also quite skilled as an Ambu. So, he simply nodded at that. Alright, You guys shall leave as soon as possible. As they simply nodded and went off as Minato sighed. As he looked towards the council, as Shikaku Nara speak up. Well, Lord Hokage, I do not doubt your decision sending this team. After all, this team has, you can say, the most accomplished mission in the whole history of the Ambu, but still, sending a single team in the whole, you can say, mid of a civil conflict, do you think it's wise? As Minato simply smirked at that, don't worry about it. This mission would be easy for the team. After all, we are sending two S-rank shinobi, and you and I both know that a S-rank shinobi rank is only given to the person who can actually do considerable damage to a battalion of a shinobi, and a single battalion, if I'm not mistaken, consists of 200 shinobis, right? And both Itachi and Naruto single-handedly can take care of that easily. As the simply nodded at that, as Koharu speak up, we can understand Lord Hokage saying that your son is in that as well. And we must say that in this time, since he became a Chunin and after that he decided to win in the whole Ambu, his reputation has really increased. And many were wondering if you are preparing him for the position of Hokage. As Minato sighed, to be honest, his council has been pounding him on asking him questions whenever there was a meeting about his eldest son and what is his plan for the future. Will he become the Hokage for the village, or when Minato will, you can say, how Minato was actually training him, or some secrets or something like that, as Minato was always getting a bit, you can say, tiresome after these meetings, as they were simply same thing whenever they discuss some agenda. It was always, you can say, what kind of training are you giving to your firstborn, and will he become the Hokage in the future? And to be honest, and Manma Naruko has simply vanished in the background, will you can say in front of the high officials of the village, as Minato did not like that much, but still he simply cannot do anything. He remembered a long time ago flashback as he was training Menma and Naruto, as he said, alright Menma, you're doing pretty well, as Menma gave a smile at his father. He was, you guys are running across a tree, and he was finally had done it after Naruto, seeing that Naruto still had better chakra control as he started to jump in the air. Did you see that, Dad? I did it. As Minato smiled, well of course, you're pretty talented Menma, and keep it up. And Menma smirked, believe it, I'm gonna become Hokage in the future, so I have to be the best. As he was jumping within the air, as Minato chuckled at that, as Minato simply shook his head. As he said, well, this meeting is adjourned. As for the future plans of Naruto, it is up to him. I simply cannot make decisions for him, seeing that he's already a Ambu captain, as most of them grumble a little but nodded nonetheless. After all, Naruto was one of the highest, you can say, shining star of the village. In the, you can say, in this 5 year, Uchiha clan has been reinstalled into the village, as much to the ire of Danzo, but there was little he could actually do. After all, these were the rumors which started to suspect the Uchiha clan behind the 9 days attack, and now these were the same rumors which were bringing back the repute of the Uchiha clan, seeing that many were saying that how Itachi has been secretly training, you can say, the budding prodigy that was Naruto Namakase, and on top of that, the Uchiha clan has been working with Hokage to, you can say, make more prodigies such as Itachi and even more, and therefore repute of the Uchiha clan has skyrocketed after that. And seeing that Naruto was already apprenticed to an Uchiha, many of the clans did not like that, but there was little they could actually do, because Itachi has already snatched him when he was not even that famous, and there were still rumors that Itachi has been training him since a very young age, so therefore they cannot do much complaints about it, and there is hardly a shinobi of Itachi's caliber in their respective clans to begin with. As so, there was nothing they could actually do about it. As Danzo was angry about it, but there was nothing he could do along with the elders. So he decided to leave the matter for the moment, and hopefully he will be able to get the Sharingans which he wanted for his arm. So yeah. While on the other hand, you can say in the meantime, in the whole academy, only 1 month has left, and after that the graduation exam shall begin for the new graduates of the academy, as Menma and Naruko has just entered within the, you can say, whole room, as there was silence in the whole room, as when they just started the academy there was, you can say, this whole thing being the son and the daughter of the Hokage, but all of that started to get less and less when Naruto became a shinobi. Flashback for both Menma and Naruto, as Menma and Naruko, 9-year-old, were clenching their fists as they were hearing many murmurs around their class as their brother had just installed within the Ambu. So they were simply listening to the kids who were murmuring as they said, hey, isn't that the Naruto Sama's brother? As he said, yeah, Menma, if I'm not mistaken, huh? Well, did you hear that he has just went into the whole Ambu? Can you believe that? As Odin speak up, yeah. And look at them. They are only, you can say, few minutes younger than them. As I simply laugh, well, it seems that they are not as talented as him. Huh, well, of course, he's already within the Ambu, and look at them, they're still in the academy. Can you believe it? And there are rumors that Hokage-sama has been giving him the personal training. Well, I've also heard that they were being trained by the Hokage as well as the Sanin as well. The other one simply scoff. Huh, even if they were training him, they must have realized that they did not have any talent whatsoever. And both Menma and Naruto were clenching their fists at that. In this year, you can say the inferiority conflict which both Menma and Naruto had simply skyrocketed. They were training like madmen in all of this time. Their father and mother decided to lessen their training day by day. It was only that their godfather was the one who was trying to help them, trying to increase their, you can say, whole chakra reserves as well as chakra control as well as trying to teach them ninjutsu, but he always come up with the last thing that how they needed more chakra control, which frustrated them even more as they were able to master the Rasengan when they were at the age of 10 by using a single shadow clone, and they were still trying to master it with using only one hand, but it was still short because of their chakra control. As their parent explained that the cubic chakra seal was made within a manner that it always releases chakra, so they will not have, you can say, appropriate control of their chakra until they reach at the age of at least 15 to 16, which frustrated both Menma and Naruto even further, seeing that what good is the great chakra reserve if you cannot even learn new jutsu because you have no control over it. So they were simply trying to get stronger and stronger, but the fame of their brother was simply spreading like wildfire across the village. It was always like Naruto this and Naruto that, and that was frustrating them even more. While on the other hand, Naruto along with his team has finally reached to the border of the mist village as they were finally able to sneak inside and went to meet the officials of the rebellion. As Naruto, along with his team, was standing in front of Ayo as well as some of the Ambu, as Ayo narrowed his eyes as he looked around, as he said, you must be from the Hidden Leaf village, if I'm not mistaken. As you can say, Itachi started to step forward, seeing that Naruto is not that much of a talkative type. Well, to be honest, he was not that much of a talkative type either. But someone has to speak here, and Naruto's not the one who's gonna say much about here. As they said, well, we have been sent by the Hidden Leaf village to assist you guys within the rebels. As Ayo look around to see they were only a single squad of the Ambu, as he said, and without other shinobis. As Itachi said, we are all that Leaf has sent. As Ayo frowned a little, they were hoping for at least 100 shinobi to assist them or something like that. He was about to say something, but Itachi decided to speak up as he said, don't worry about it. We are more than capable of helping you guys within this whole mission of yours. Just assist us to your leader and we shall discuss things with her. As Ayo frowned a little but nodded nonetheless and decided to lead them as he secretly activated his Sharingan as he was able to see who was behind the mask of the, you can say, but to his surprise, those masks had a seal on them, preventing him to, you can say, see their faces. But he decided to see the chakra network as the other one had normal, you can say, Ambu level chakra reserves, while that other one who was speaking, as he noticed how his chakra was flowing, especially the chakra which was going to his eyes, as he frowned but nodded nonetheless. He must be an Uchiha, and hopefully the Uchiha prodigy he has been hearing so much about Itachi Uchiha. Yeah, last time he heard he was in Ambu, so hopefully this guy must be him. But then his eyes finally met the last person as he almost lost the footing, but he was able to, you can say, gather himself as he looked towards a kid who only looked only it, you can say, 13 or 14 years old, no older than 15-year-old, because he was pretty tall, but still from his body physique he was not that older, as he was simply looking towards him at awe. His chakra reserves were monstrous. Even there, you can say, Cage, Mizukage did not have that much chakra, and he doubted that he has ever seen someone while having this much chakra. And he has seen the chakra network of Kisame Hoshigaki, who is said to be, you can say, tailless tail base. This guy has enormous amount of chakra within him. As but he decided to shout his Byakugan for now. He will inform me. And there were some rumors he has been hearing lately about the demonic Flash, the son of the Hokage, as he had some suspicion about the kid, but hopefully it would be true, and then they would have two Astron Shinobi helping them. But he simply shook his head. He has to inform these two. You can say Metrumi Sama. As they finally arrive, as Ayo decided to speak up, you guys wait here, I will inform Metrumi Sama and she will meet you. As they simply nodded at that, as Ayo simply entered within the camp, as Mei, along with her advisor and Chojoro, was simply looking towards the map, trying to, you can say, come up with some strategy or something like that. As Mei quickly noticed Ayo, as I said, Ayo, you're already here, which means that Konoha Shinobi has arrived, is it? As Ayo simply nodded at that, well, it's great. So how many shinobi they have decided to send for our aid? As Ayo decided to speak up, well, Misama, it seemed that they have decided to send one of their ambush squad to assist us within our battles. As Mei was shocked as she said, Ayo, what are you talking about? They have only sent one ambush squad? As you can say, Ayo simply nodded at that as Mei was about to get angry, but Ayo decided to speak up. Mei-sama, it seems that there's something I want to tell you. I have some suspicion who they have actually sent as Mei looked towards him. So, who have they decided to send as Ayo decided to speak up? I was using my Byakugan, though I was unable to see, you can say behind their masks. I was able to see that two of the members, one of them was definitely an Uchiha from his appearance, especially his hair, and the how his chakra network actually is, especially chakra going to his eyes. So I believe that he is the Uchiha. And if I'm not mistaken, he must be one of the Uchiha prodigy I have been hearing so much about. Itachi Uchiha at this Mei was taken aback from it. Itachi Uchiha is almost like a legend within the whole Uchiha clan. His, you can say, stories about his legend and power are quite, you can say, widespread, as she was at least happy that they have decided to send one S-rank shinobi. As not only that, Meisama, another person is in the whole ambush squad, and from the look of it, he's the leader of the squad. He's no older than 14 or 15, I can guarantee on that. As Mei raised an eyebrow, so what's so special about him, huh? As he speak up, I have reasons to believe that he's the demonic Flash, the son of the Hokage. At this, there was silence in the whole camp, as some of the, you can say, advisors that were there who were about to say something that Konoha should have sent more shinobi. They were dead silence in the whole room as Mei looked towards him. Ayo, are you sure about it? As Ayo simply shook his head, I'm not that sure, Mei-sama, but I have seen his chakra network as well as his chakra reserve with my own Byakugan, and I have never seen such gigantic chakra pool before. He has more chakra than, you can say, our current Mizukage and Kisame Hoshigaki combined, and he has so much, you can say, control over it that I was unable to sense it. And that much chakra, it is impossible for anyone to, you can say, conceal his presence, but there was nothing from him I was feeling. At this, there was silence in the room as Mei nodded for it some time. If they have really sent it, you can say, two S-rank shinobi, especially the demonic Flash, the rising star within the Elemental Nation, the shinobi who is said to defeat not only, you can say, the elites of Aiwa, but also the elites of Kumo at the same time, and decimating, you can say, one of the Jinchuriki of Aiwa like it was nothing at the only age of 8. As when Mei originally heard about it, she only scoffed at it, thinking that how these were some rumors or something like that. But when it started to get more and more, and it was soon, the Elemental Nations had a new star as a shinobi, and that was Naruto Namakase, otherwise known as the Demonic Flash. And so, then she simply nodded at that. Alright, I will meet with them. As Ayo simply nodded at that, and after some time, the whole squad was standing in front of, you can say, mid-room. As Mei was looking toward, you can say, the two-person Ayo was talking about. She could definitely see the resemblance from the bingo book, even if they have, you can say, wearing masks. As she looked towards them, so you are the squad Konoha have decided to send here for help. As Naruto decided to speak up, yes, we have been sent here by our Hokage and the council to help you guys within the rebellion. Our mission is pretty simple. We have to simply, you can say, overthrow the Mizukage and put you as a new Mizukage. As Mei simply blink a little. So I was wondering as she looked towards Naruto, who you guys actually are. If Konoha has decided to send you, you guys must be famous, huh? As she looked towards Naruto and looked towards, you can say, Itachi, as Itachi speak up, our identity is concealed for a purpose. Misama. And as for our mission is different from what you may actually believe. As May simply blink a little. What do you mean by that? As Naruto decided to speak up, we are not here to assist the rebellion whatsoever. As there were about to be several shoots or something like that, how they should help him. As May also narrowed his eyes. We are here on our own mission. Our purpose is one thing and one thing only, is to overthrow the Mizukage and put you as the new Mizukage. At this, May decided to speak up. I have heard about you, Naruto Namakaze, if I'm not mistaken. You are the demonic flash, right? As there was silence in the whole squad, as Naruto did not, you can say, deny it, nor did he, you can say, confirm it. As Itachi also did the same thing, you may be strong, but you have to understand, our Mizukage is a Jinchuriki, and he is the strongest cage within our whole history. He's pretty powerful. He can even control his full three-tailed transformation. So, do you honestly believe that you can actually take him on? I have heard rumors about you, but you're still young. As Naruto simply chuckled at that, as he looked towards May. Many people have told me that, but in the end of the day, they were just that, disappointments. None of these so-called elite shinobis have been able to entertain me within a battle. As many of the people were surprised to hear that, as May was thinking if this kid is out of his mind or he's just that arrogant of his power. As Naruto simply looked towards her. Get ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow you are gonna sit in the chair of the Mizukage and you're gonna have to sign this scroll. As he threw the scroll at May. As May was intrigued, she decided to open the scroll and decided to read through it. It was, you can say, a military as well as the whole alliance between the water country as well as the fire nation. As she was pretty surprised. To be honest, these turns are not that bad. As she chuckled, huh, do you honestly believe that you, as well as your squad, is more than enough to take on, you can say, the forces of Mizukage and take him out? As Naruto simply shrug, I'm more than enough. My squad is here. As he looked towards them, as he chuckled a little, as most of the squad members were glaring towards Naruto. To be honest, whenever Naruto is in any mission, that mission always ended and they are just watchers, and whenever they try to interfere or something like that, they only get hurt because his battles are mostly destructive always and always. As Itachi simply sighed, don't worry about it, Lord Mizu. Soon enough, you shall be the next Mizukage, so we shall be meeting you tomorrow, Miss Hama. As after saying that, most of them simply vanished from the area. As May was about to say something, but she was surprised, as she was wondering if she has just lost the help of the Konoha just like that. Because the shinobi that Konoha has just sent are way too much arrogant and thinking that they might even lose their life. As she was simply sighed, there was little she could actually do about it. Her, you can say, forces are not that much, and if they are able to do a lot of damage, even if they were to die, hopefully Konoha will not keep it against them, and they would be able to weaken the forces of Mizukage, and then they would swoop in, and she will become the next Mizukage. She simply nodded at that as she looked towards Io. Well then, get our forces ready. Tomorrow, even if they are unable to win, hopefully they will be able to weaken the forces of Mizukage, and then we will swoop in and take it all. They simply nodded at that, while May simply sighed as she decided to come out to see the whole thing. While on the other hand, the whole Ambu squad was standing in front of Naruto along with Itachi. As Naruto simply looked towards them, you guys already know your part of the mission. As most of them simply sighed internally but nodded nonetheless. As he looked towards Itachi, I have something to discuss with you. You shall be with me. At this, they were surprised at that. At Itachi raised an eyebrow. What do you mean by that, Taicho? As Naruto simply looked towards, you can say, the Mizukage tower. I can feel the presence of the cage, but there is something wrong with him. I want to confirm something, and that would require your Sharingan to further confirm my suspicions, even though I truly believe what I'm sensing at the moment. As you can say, Itachi's genius mind was already going through several, you can say, scenario where Naruto was actually talking about, but nodded nonetheless. As he looked towards the Ambu squad and snapped his finger, they simply vanished from the area. While on the other hand, Naruto said, well then, shall we begin the party, Itachi? As Itachi simply chuckled at that. After you, Taicho. As Naruto simply smirked at that, well then, let's begin it. As he pointed a finger towards, you can say, the headquarters of the forces of the mist, where this is simply, you can say, he could already feel the chakra signature as it smirked, as he blasted a beam of energy toward it. Boom! As a blast occurred, as there were several shinobis who were coming out of the area, they were able to, you can say, feel the presences of many shinobi as Naruto's ambu were already disturbing the whole piece of the village so that the forces could actually come together, giving them a bit of time. So Naruto decided to blow up a single building just to show them the force of power they actually possessed at the moment, and just like that, he previously thought the forces of the Mizukage were already coming together and coming with in the form of troops and trying to, you can say, track his Ambu squad. As Naruto simply smirk at that as he looked toward Itachi as he grabbed his shoulder, and within a blink of an eye both of them simply vanished as Itachi has already gotten used to it. In one moment he was, you can say, standing there, and the next moment there was a hole in the, you can say, Mizukage tower as Mizukage was glaring towards Naruto as well as the other Ambu as he said, "Who are you and what are you guys doing here?" As, you can say, Mizukage was glaring towards them as most of the shinobi noticed that how they have attacked the Mizukage tower, so they decided to rush towards the aid of their Mizukage. As, you can say, Naruto gives the signal to Itachi as Itachi nodded, so he activated his Sharingan as he frowned a little. There was definitely something off with the Mizukage, so he decided to pour more chakra within his eyes, and just like that, his eyes transformed into the Mangekyo Sharingan as he could actually feel it, that chakra, as he looked towards Naruto. "You're right, Tajo, he is in a Genjutsu." At this, you can say Mizukage frowned at that as Naruto looked towards him. As Mizukage glared towards both of them, as Naruto simply shook his head. "I already know whose chakra it is. It's the same person we met all those years ago." As Itachi frowned a little. To be honest, he has been quite worried about who was the Uchiha who was doing all of this. Previously, he thought that it could be his father or could be some other Uchiha, but it was negative. Naruto was able to sense the chakra signature of all of those peoples, and they were not them. As he simply shook his head and told Itachi that these were not the people whose chakra signature matches with that other guy, as his, you can say, the masked person chakra was all over the place. There was Senju chakra and other chakras mixed together. So these people does not, you can say, classify. Even Itachi, even Kakashi's Sharingan chakra did not match to that because Obito's Sharingan had, you can say, Senju chakra also going through it. And that was the reason Obito was able to keep his Mangekyo Sharingan even without the eternal form. So, yeah, well, in the canon, of course. As Naruto simply looked towards Mizukage. "Well, Mizukage, I'm sent here by Konoha. Your reign of terror has finally come to an end." As Mizukage simply chuckled. "Huh, do you honestly believe that you're strong enough to take me on, kid? Huh, you may be strong, but I'm the Mizukage." As he quickly go through hand signs, sending a wave of fire water towards both Itachi and Naruto. As Naruto looked towards Itachi, "Itachi, get out of here. I will handle things from here on out." As Itachi frowned a little but nodded nonetheless. He could already tell that, you can say, Genjutsu is pretty powerful and it would require the Mizukage to be weakened so that he could actually break the Genjutsu, and for that there is only one person who can actually beat him to the ground. As Naruto simply smirked at that as Mizukage was about to rush towards Naruto, but that suddenly his, you can say, head was grabbed viciously as he was sent flying outside of his building, as several of the shinobis were looking towards Naruto. As Naruto looked towards all of them, and within a blink of an eye he vanished from the area and standing in front of the forces of the Mizukage as he cracked his neck as he said, "Well then, let's dance." And within a blink of an eye he vanished, shattering the ground beneath him as several of the shinobis were being sent flying left and right like they were nothing, and Naruto was moving at such a speed that the world around him was stopped. He could feel, you can say, the whole, even the water droplet that were about to be dropped to the ground. He could feel them moving at a, you can say, micro time. There was no time because of his ultimate speed. So he was going through the shinobis one after another. He finally arrived in front of the Mizukage and slammed his fist into the gut of the Mizukage as Mizukage let out a, you can say, scream of pure pain and agony as well as a bit of blood as And just like that, when shinobis blink a little, as they were their shinobi forces were all over the place, as most of them were already dead, and several of them had, you can say, several injuries all over their body, as Naruto simply pointed towards them, fast style. Phoenix destruction, as a phoenix of fire roared out of, you can say, the mouth of Naruto and rushed towards the shinobi, who quickly go through hand sign, trying to, you can say, use the water technique to get rid of the phoenix, but it was already too late. Even some of the water techniques that collided with the phoenix simply evaporated because of Naruto's dense chakra and his ki empowering it even further as Naruto appeared in front of the Mizukage. As he said, I do not have time for such weaklings, so why don't you use your full power and maybe, and that is a really, maybe you might be entertainment a little bit as Mizukage gritted his teeth at that. This kid was infuriating while far away Obito Uchiha narrowed his eyes dangerously. This was not how it was supposed to be. He should have been reigning over the mist even more and then after that simply take over. You can say the three tails when the time comes, but this little brat was messing with his plans all over the time. He should have killed him when he had the opportunity when the kid was only 8 years old. But to be honest, that day kid actually scared him for his life. But now things were getting out of hand as he gritted his teeth. Even the three tail is no match for Naruto Namikaze. After all, the demonic flash is currently the most strongest shinobi. Well, many say that he is currently the most powerful shinobi within the elemental nation, aside the cages, of course. So, Naruto simply smirked when red chakra started to leak from the body of the Mizukage and started to surround him as Yagura said, "You will pay for your crimes." As he was in a mini, you can say second stage, three-tail form, as he rushed towards Naruto, as Naruto simply shook his head. He does not have time for this, as Mizukage released a Biju Dama, as Naruto also released a blast of energy from his hand, as both of these attacks collided with each other. Boom! As a blast occurred, making, you can say, a section of the village burned down, as several shinobis who were, you can say, coming towards Naruto or something like that, but the power he was releasing was scaring them, as they were still trying to come for the aid of their comrades. But they saw that how Mizukage has transformed into his Biju form, so they will have to keep out of the battle, otherwise they might get injured within the battle or might even disturb the Mizukage's Sama. As Naruto simply looked towards the Mizukage with a smirk on his face as he said, is that all? As Mizukage rushed towards Naruto with full speed, using his second tail, thinking that how he's gonna end this battle, as the whole, you can say, shinobi forces of the mist were cheering for the Mizukage to end this villain or something like that. While on the other hand, Itachi was simply shaking his head. You already know what is to come. This battle is already over. As Naruto finally has simply shook his head, and the next moment a kick slammed into the chest of Yagura, sending him flying into the ocean, destroying a section, several buildings within between, as most of the people were surprised when a hole, you can say, formed, as Naruto casually walked through the destroyed area like it was even not even something to be surprised about, as Itachi simply shook his head, while the armed forces which came with Naruto was simply looking towards the battle, and some of them even had popcorns in their hand. As Itachi looked towards them, who simply looked towards Itachi and shrugged, as Itachi shrugged as well and got some popcorn as well. While on the other hand, the shinobi of the Mizukage was simply looking toward in utter awe the destroyed area which Naruto made with a single kick, as Naruto finally arrived in front of the ocean, but then suddenly the water started to dome upward, as many of the shinobis were surprised and shocked and scared to see the three-tailed turtle form. As Mizukage speak up, "Now you have done it. This is my full power. I'm gonna end you." As Naruto simply shook his head. "Well, to be honest, when I came here, I thought that you would be fun. I could have a bit of excitement, but it seemed that you were just that, a disappointment." As Yagura finally had enough of it, as he started to full powered Biju Dama, as he released the full powered attack towards Naruto, who was simply looking towards it. As you can say, Yagura was simply smirking at that, thinking that how his Biju Dama will take care of this little brat and that he will take care of the rebellion as well. So Naruto simply shook his head, and just like the attack was coming towards Naruto with full force, as most of the shinobis were thinking that how it is already over, as Naruto simply remove one hand from his pocket, and it was like a blur. One moment the Bijudama was coming towards Naruto, and the next moment the Bijudama was backhanded by Naruto as Yagura's eyes widened as the Bijudama was coming towards him, as he cursed under his breath and decided to use his shell to protect himself from his own Bijudama as a blast occurred, as Itachi simply chuckled at that. To be honest, there was little which could actually surprise him now. As Naruto had a bored expression on his face, he still had one hand in his pocket and the next hand simply, you can say, on the side of Naruto limply, as he looked towards Yagura, who was simply, you can say, smoking all over. As Naruto simply shook his head, he will end it now, as he vanished from the area, shattering the ground, as Mizukage was about to say something that how he will pay for this or something like that. But to be honest, Naruto did not care. Suddenly, as Yagura simply let out a scream of pure pain and agony, as a fist collided with his shell, shattering his whole shell like it was not even there, like it was not the strongest thing at the moment in the elemental nation, like it was only a glass. As many people hear the pure pain and agony within the voice of that monster in which their Mizukage has transformed into, while far away within the rebellion forces they were hearing the, you can say, the whole blasted things. So they decided to see what was actually going on here. So Meitorumi along with her best shinobi were coming towards the area as they saw the utter destruction that was going on, as they saw when Naruto backhanded the whole Bijudama towards the Mizukage and the three-tailed Jinchuriki, and the next moment the whole battle which occurred as they were simply looking towards it all, and the next moment as the whole water was all over the place, as Yagura was screaming in utter pain and agony, and finally his shell was scattered as Yagura finally transformed into his normal body, as Naruto grabbed Yagura and vanished from the area, as many of the shinobis were at utter shock as Naruto was flying within the air by grabbing the head of, you can say, Yagura as well as his whole body as he looked towards all of them. From this moment on, Konoha's support along with us, the new, you can say, the leader of the rebellion, and therefore the true leader, your leader Yagura has been defeated. So either you fight against me as well as Konoha, or you hereby, you can say, simply accept your defeat and accept Meitorumi to be your new leader. And there were several murmurs going on as they look around the area in which the, you can say, the shinobi simply vanished and destroyed a section of the shinobi, like it was not even there, just to reach, you can say, Yagura, as they simply look towards each other and throw their, you can say, all the weapons that they had in their hand, as Meitorumi but simply looking towards Naruto at awe. He has defeated, you can say, the forces of Mizukage as well as defeated Yagura like it was nothing to him. As Naruto simply looked towards Itachi and gave him a look, as Itachi simply nodded and vanished by transforming into several crows and finally arrived in front of Naruto as both of them vanished. While away, Obito slammed his face into the wall, cracking it a little bit. Damn you, Naruto Namakase! As he was glaring towards into the darkness with his Sharingan spinning madly, as he has just, you can say, met with another Mangekyo, and his control over the Yagura has been destroyed as he cursed under his breast. And now it will be a lot difficult to get the Jinchuriki of the three tail, as while on the other hand Yagura was simply looking directly into the eyes of Itachi as he blinked once and then twice as he started to shake his head as he looked around. Who are you people and where am I? As he was about to get ready for a fighting stand, but then he felt pure pain in his whole body as Itachi looked towards Naruto, who nodded as Itachi simply decided to interrogate him and ask him questions and things like that, which I'm not gonna go over. So a bit of time skip as Yagura was simply crying as he could not believe it. How could he actually do this to his own people, bloodline or not? They're a part of Kiri, and how he has done so much bad things to his own people. As Meitorumi could not believe her eyes as Yagura was in the ground crying. As Naruto and Itachi explained the situation, as Mei was angry at Yagura because all of the bad things he has done, but now to find out the person who has she hated all of her life was not even the control of his own action, as someone else was doing this just because he wanted revenge on Kiri, as she clenched her fist at that. As Naruto simply shook his head. So what's your decision now, Mizukage? It seems that you have been promoted as Mizukage a lot earlier than I expected. As May simply shook her head as she said, I do not know at the moment. As Naruto simply shook his head, well, it's not our problem, so you shall deal with it at your own pace. But be remember, as he looked towards you guys Yagura, that guy who put you in a Genjutsu will come for you once again. So hopefully this time you will be strong enough to resist him. As he simply nodded at that. As Naruto simply shook his head as he said, Alright Mizukage, have you signed the scroll? As Mizukage simply nodded at that and gave the scroll to Naruto. Well then, that's excellent. As he looked towards Itachi, as Itachi nodded, well of course Taicho, we have also done our part. As they simply nodded as he said, well then, we shall be taking our leave. As May speak up, wait, you have just came here recently. Why don't you guys take a bit of rest? As Naruto simply shook his head. Nah, can't do that. We have a lot more mission agenda to complete. As after that, after saying that, he vanished from the office as May was surprised but nodded nonetheless. As Itachi, along with Naruto and a whole Ambu squad, were finally coming back to Konoha. As Itachi looked towards Naruto, so what do you think, Kaijo? Did that battle entertain you? As Naruto simply looked towards Itachi, well, to be honest, not that much, Itachi, though it has to do for now at least. As Itachi simply sighed, he already knew the inner conflict which Naruto actually has. To be honest, Naruto is bored out of his mind. The power which Naruto possesses, Itachi has seen it firsthand. After all, he was his sensei, but it happened so fast. Naruto became his senior in no time whatsoever. When he entered within the Ambu, he was the shining star of the Ambu. So quickly, he became the captain, and now they were even considering to making him even the general of the Ambu. Though he already knew that Naruto is gonna reject that, seeing that he's already bored of Ambu as well. The missions are good and all that, but still, that does not, you can say, entertain him. For Naruto, the life was boring because he had all of this power and there was no one to compete him. Though Itachi liked to think that Hokage could actually give Naruto a good battle, but a part of him already knew that that was not possible. The Hokage may be powerful, but Naruto has never used his full power and he has seen the kid take on Bijus like they are nothing and take them out in a physical brute strength, nothing more than that. As Naruto simply looked towards Itachi, well then, what do you think you're gonna do now, Itachi, huh? As Itachi simply sighed, to be honest, I want to go out of the Ambu for a little time. As Naruto simply nodded at that, I was thinking of the same thing. If I'm not mistaken, the academy are gonna end their graduation within a month, right? As Itachi looked raised an eyebrow, do you want to be a sensei? As Naruto simply shrugged, well, it could be a good experience, but at the moment I have not decided it. As Itachi simply nodded at that, well then, we shall discuss it with the Hokage. But for now, good mission to us, I suppose. As they simply all nodded at that, they were simply looking towards Naruto, as Naruto simply gave them a shrug. Well, at least they were happy that how he's gonna get out of the Ambu as quick as possible so that they could at least have a bit of fun of their own, a bit of action because whenever Naruto is involved, he alone does all the things even if you can say Hokage insists that he always have a Ambu squad with him. But still, most of the time Ambu squad is just that, you can say, the watcher and nothing more than that. So yeah guys, here I will have this part. Hope you guys enjoyed it. For the next part, I want to end it here because I want your guys' opinion. If Naruto should be, you can say, a sensei, and if Naruto should be a Jonin sensei, what should be his team or things like that. That is the reason I'm ending here because I want your guys' opinion. So if you guys want Naruto to be a sensei in the next part, it would be, you guys, possible, and who should be his assistant and who should be his team and things like that. So do that and I shall, you can say, upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, peace.